There are 12 rules for life coming from ancient Greek philosophers. And the first rule is to own the morning. Own the morning. Have a great morning routine that will help you to prepare yourself for the day ahead of you. If you don't have that, if you don't prepare yourself in the morning, the whole day will be a bit messy. Like, you will not be able to find a moment in a day where you would say, oh, this is my moment. If you don't take care of a great start of the day, everything else will be a bit worse. So make sure that you're owning your morning. What I like to encourage you to do is to take time in the morning to in tune with yourself, to nurture the connection you have with yourself, like meditation. If you have a mind full of thoughts, have you ever heard any Buddhist monk saying, empty your mind? Maybe you've heard Bruce Lee said, empty your mind. What they mean by that, they mean empty the space that is cluttered with too much of poison, too much of nonsense. And morning is a perfect time to empty your inner space a little bit, to let go of those thoughts, to acknowledge your beliefs, to recognize what you actually want to do in a day that is in front of you. So, morning is a perfect time to do that. So, own your morning. I like to meditate in the morning. I like to write my thoughts down. Journaling. If you have mind full of thoughts, write your thoughts down. Write down your dreams. If you're remembering your dreams, write them down, because your dreams have incredible symbols. There's a lot of symbolism in your dreams. And when you're writing it down, your subconscious mind will start giving you some insights, like, what happened there? What can you learn from that? What are your hidden desires that are maybe still kind of controlling your behaviors and so on? And you're kind of studying yourself through deep introspection. And when it comes to the future, in the morning you prepare yourself for the future. You can set up how you want your life to be. Sometimes when I have some important meetings, I write down how the meeting went. Like, I would already be in the future and I'm kind of reflecting how everything went, but I'm doing it for the future. And most of the times it actually happened that way. So remind yourself of the power of your mind. So own your morning. The second rule is only focus on what's in your control. Only focus on what's in your control. Ask yourself how often you're wasting your energy on the things that are completely out of your control. Like, you can look at the news and you will notice most of the things are out of your control. But if you ask yourself, well, what can I do to improve my life? You will notice, well, most of the things you can actually do are in your hands. But because you're wasting so much of your energy for the things that are out of your hands, that are out of your reach, that are out of your control, you don't have then enough of energy and creativity for the things that you could actually change, like relationships in your life, your mindset. Rather than spending most of the time on social media, read a good book, right? Meditate a little bit more. Go out into the nature. Work on that relationship that maybe needs some healing, right? Focus on what is in your power, what is in your control. The third rule is treat success and failure the same. Oh, this is something I've learned in my life, my friends. When everything is growing, you're so happy and excited, but when everything is falling, you're sad and miserable. But then you notice that it's actually a motion of life, right? Everything is moving in rhythms. Everything is moving in cycles, so when things are falling, it means that there will come a time when things will start growing. So when the things are falling, it's a phase of reflection. Okay, what am I missing, right? What can I learn from this phase? Of course, because of our emotions, we fall into those reactive mechanisms. But if we have strong roots and we've established certain routines that can help us to ground ourselves at the times of maybe failures and falls and you know, when we're moving through the dark phases, we'll be able to think clearly about what's happening, and we'll get ourselves back together, and we will notice, okay, maybe I need to rest a little bit more. Maybe I need to recharge my batteries. Maybe I need to just let go of everything right now and focus on my well-being, so I can make sure that I prepare myself for the changes that needs to happen. So once we start looking on life as success and failures are just two sides of one coin, we'll be able to stay more grounded and to be a bit more in a place of an observer than in a place of a person who's constantly reacting. So this is something that we just need to figure out as we're moving through life. And I want to remind you, well, if you're constantly falling out just because your life is moving downwards, there will come a time when your life will start moving upwards. And if you're really excited and really happy and joyful when things are growing, you also need to remind yourself that it's all temporary. It's all temporary. What is eternal is the present moment. So life is teaching you to be present, right? Life is teaching you to be more present. So make sure that you're practicing being present, that you're training yourself to stay present. The fifth rule, coming from ancient Greek philosophy, is to do just one thing every single day. Do just one thing every single day. So what does it mean? Well, because we set so high standards for how or what we think we should do for our lives to get better, we rather don't do anything because it feels too hard, right? But if you remind yourself that actually all you need to do is just one thing for whatever is important to you every single day. Let's say you start working on a project. Let's say you're building a YouTube channel. And you know there's a lot of work behind that. And you feel kind of stressed out because you don't know where to start. Do one thing. Firstly, open that channel, start it up. Next day, edit it a little bit, the profile picture, find a name, edit everything. And then the next day, make a first video. And then the next day, maybe edit that video or make another video. But don't rush through the process. Do one thing a day. One thing a day is better than 10 things in one day and then 0 in the next days, right? So remind yourself that doing one thing in a day is much more important than rushing one day and then doing nothing for the rest of your life, right? Because so often we think we should do so many things at once that we just don't start anywhere. And they said, just do one thing every single day and it will be enough. And that's easy as that. The sixth rule from ancient Greek philosophy is to make beautiful choices. Make beautiful choices in your life. There's a saying that our life is a product of tiny little choices we make on moment-by-moment basis. So, if our life is a product of tiny little choices we make on moment-by-moment basis, then it's in our power to make beautiful choices, right? It's in our power to make beautiful choices. So, if you pause yourself right now, you will notice you have a choice. You have a choice to waste some more time or to do something beautiful with your time. And you may be wondering, well, what is a beautiful choice? In the field of thoughts, you have a lack of clarity. But the lack of clarity is a product of constant distraction. So if you want to experience clarity, you need to let go of distraction, right? And what is distraction? Distraction is action away from where we want to be. So we're kind of lacking understanding of where we're going, and if we're lacking a sense of direction, we're lost. Isn't that so? When we lack a sense of direction, we feel lost. So the reason for being lost is to find ourselves. And if we want to find ourselves, we firstly need to be lost. So if you feel lost right now, you're actually discovering yourself. So let go of those distractions and take a moment in a day to give yourself a sense of direction. Okay, this is what I'm working on. This is where I want to go. This is what kind of relationships I want to build in my life. This is how I want to increase my health. This is how I want to increase my finances. And then the second part, what I need to learn to make it happen. Because we think we're lacking money, or we're lacking health, or we're lacking energy to make those things work, but what we're actually lacking is knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is from the past, and wisdom is for the future. And where can we find it? We can find it in personal experiences, but not just our personal experiences. That's why we have books. Personal experiences of somebody who walked before us, right? So study what you need to know to experience what you want. There's everything is already in access for you. You just need to set some deeper questions. And a wise saying goes, if you ask from your heart will answer back to you. So if you set a question from your heart will reply to you. So reflect on that a little bit. The seventh rule for life is to constantly ask, is this necessary? Whatever you do, ask yourself, is this necessary? Whatever you say, is this necessary? Wherever you go, is this necessary? For your growth, for the health of your soul, for the health of your relationships, for your mental health, for your emotional health, for your spiritual health, is this necessary? Because sometimes we're facing with something hard and we would rather just do nothing. But if we ask ourselves, is this necessary? And we say, yeah, of course. The only way to grow is to move through it, right? It's much easier to say, no, thank you, I will avoid that. It's much easier that. But the only way to grow is to move through what is blocking us, right? Not avoiding it. So always ask yourself, is this necessary? The eighth rule for life, coming from ancient Greek philosophy, is to love your faith. Love your faith. There's another wise saying that actions are reflection of the faith, and our deeds become our destiny. So, to love your faith means that you firstly have faith for something. You can have faith for your future. You can have faith for your financial growth. You can have faith for your relationships. But whatever the word faith means to you. Make sure that you reflect on that and that you kind of build something that you believe in, that you create something you believe in. You can have faith into the universal intelligence that is constantly supporting you, but make sure that you truly believe into that. Faith means to believe into something that doesn't have any physical evidence for it, so it's completely mental. And then if you go into ancient teachings of alchemy, we get to the law of the universe. The world is mental, so everything is mental. If we set our mind right, we will make it happen. It will become possible for us. The world is mental, and faith is a great tool to uplift our mental state so we can take greater action and we can transform our deeds into destiny. That is ancient wisdom, my friends, and it's not hard. Having faith is not hard. We just need to train ourselves to believe into something that is beyond this present reality, because our present reality is a product of our past choices, but our future reality will become a product of today's choices. So make sure that your today's actions are greater than your yesterday's, right? If you want to experience something more, you need to do something more. If you want to have what most people don't have, you need to do what most people are not doing, right? So think about this for a moment. The 9th rule for life is speak with the dead. Speak with the dead. What does it mean? Well, we are walking with our ancestors inside of our DNA, right? We have so much more wisdom present in our DNA than we think we have. Every our ancestors that walked before us can teach us something more about ourselves. So you can have certain practices where you sit down and you just imagine talking with someone who transcendent, right? Like sometimes we have unresolved relationships with people who are not here anymore, but it doesn't mean that you can't resolve them. It doesn't mean that you can't talk with them. So make sure that you have a connection with your family tree, with your ancestors, and we're all coming from one family, so we're all kind of connected, right? So nurture that connection, because on that great web of life, as Native Americans would say, we are all connected. All the spirits and souls are walking with you, celebrating you. Every time you overcome yourself, they're celebrating you. So make sure that you talk with your loved ones, even if they're not here anymore. You can pray for them. You can say thanks to them. And that is powerful, my friends. So never forget that you're never alone here. Sometimes we feel alone. Sometimes we're lonely and we think we are alone. But loneliness just means that we are escaping something that is necessary, but can only be dealt with when we are alone. So doesn't matter how unpleasant it may feel being alone. If you would turn off your phone, turn off the TV, turn off the internet, and maybe go outside into the nature, you will notice that actually you are quite well. And maybe if you take more time with that, you will notice that you have some needs that you've been neglecting. You have some dreams that you've been putting them aside. You have some responsibilities that you've been avoiding, right? And you will discover, well, I should take more time for that. And you will notice that being alone is not so bad. Actually, it helps you to experience clarity for what you need to do. So my friends, speak with the dead, ask them for guidance, pray for them. They will help you. It's not something dark or negative. It's actually helpful. All ancient traditions had different rituals where they were talking with the spirits of their ancestors. So it's something beautiful you can do. The 10th rule for life is be strict with yourself and tolerant with others. This is something important, especially for our relationships. Be strict with yourself when it comes to your virtues. Are you following your virtues? Do you have clarity around your values? So virtues are good habits, and values are like motivations to aim towards something, to improve the character, the personality, so we can become more authentic, more pure. Because the purpose of a personality is that it reflects our spirit, that it reflects our soul. But if personality becomes a product of society, then we are not really sure if what we are expressing is truly coming from ourselves. Is it truly coming from us, or is it actually coming from a belief systems that were projected to us from society? That's why in psychology they say that you need to constantly be aware of your errors and work on them. And all those teachings are coming from ancient alchemy. They said you need to work inside of your laboratory and constantly keep noticing the errors of what is not helping you to express your soul, right? So what does it mean? They say that your physical body is your laboratory, and inside of it you're practicing, you are figuring things out, you are becoming familiar with all different sensations, and you're finding and discovering what feels the most natural, because what feels the most natural is your soul. Your soul is nature. It's your inner nature. And more you're in tune with your soul, more you become natural, right? More you become in tune with everything. So we are kind of discovering what feels more natural, not what feels easy, but what feels more natural. So make sure that you stay aware of that. And for that, we need to be strict with ourselves. I will not eat this because it's not good for me. I will not drink this because it's not good for me. But being tolerant with others, because everybody is walking their own story. Like Plato said, be kind to others because they're dealing with their own battles, right? So we need to be tolerant with others, and that's something that we're constantly training ourselves to do, right? To be more tolerant. So make sure that you are practicing that. Be strict with yourself. The virtue of self-control, the virtue of practical intelligence, the virtue of trust, right? Make sure that you do the things that are good for you and that you're constantly doing what is good for you. But be tolerant with others. Don't force something to others because they're dealing with their own battles. The 11th rule for life is to turn obstacles upside down. Turn obstacles upside down. What does it mean? Well, you may be dealing with a certain challenge in your life, like somebody said something to you, like somebody said that you're ugly, that you're stupid, that you're a worthless piece of right? Sometimes things like that happen. But if we turn it around, is there anything good in what happened? Is there anything good in what happened? Well, when that person was mean to me, I've noticed that I'm aware of the truth. I'm aware of my own worth. I don't need to be so hurt because that person is hurting because of unknown reasons, I don't need to be a victim of that person's hurt, right? What's the good side in a problem? What's the good side in a challenge? Always remind yourself to look for the good side in any kind of situation. COVID happened, and many people because of that started waking up. I have many friends who, because of the COVID, changed their jobs, and they are much happier now. So we always need to turn obstacles upside down so we can also see the good side of it. It doesn't mean that we ignore the bad one, that we ignore the negative, that we ignore what happens. But we also look for the other side, because each coin has two sides, right? So we need to turn it around and to see also what's on the other side. Make sure that you remind yourself that. And the 12th rule for life is, remember, you're dying every day. Remember, you're dying every day. You will not be here forever. Every single day, you're a day older. So remind yourself that you do something that is beneficial for you, but also for those who will walk after you, right? Make sure that you're leaving footprints behind that can inspire others. Make sure that you're healing your family wounds. Make sure that you do what you know that will be beneficial for future generations. Every single day we need to remind ourselves that, because it's much easier to do nothing and to complain and to be reactive all the time than to actually notice what is triggering us and work on that. Work on those protective mechanisms and become a bit more kind towards ourselves. So when it gets hard, we become a bit more compassionate, right? And when it becomes too easy, we step out of the comfort zone and we do something new. We need to notice, as life is moving through rhythms and cycles, when we're in the rhythm where life becomes too easy, it's a sign that we need to also step a little bit out of the comfort zone and try something new, because we need to keep the balance. If we'll constantly be doing easy things, eventually everything will become hard. They say good times make weak people, and weak people make bad times, and bad times make strong people, and strong people make good times, right? So if you want to find balance in your life, when life becomes easy, step outside of the comfort zone. And when life gets hard, get into the comfort zone a little bit more and recharge yourself. Only that way you can always find the middle point. Like Buddha said, find the middle point. So make sure that you are aware of the rhythms of life. Sometimes our lives become heavy and everything is hard. So many challenges happen at one time. That's the time when you also need to get into the comfort zone and recharge yourself. And make sure that you are nurturing your body well so you can deal with everything. But when life gets easy, when you feel like you have no responsibilities, step out of the comfort zone. Reflect on your goals and dreams and make sure that you do also something hard. That you also aim towards something that is bigger than you right now. So you may feel motivated and inspired to do something that is bigger than your present situation. So my friends, I will leave you here. I hope you found something valuable today. Powerful lessons from our ancient Greek philosophers, ancient Greek ancestors. Thank you so much for that. And till next time, I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Stay beautiful, stay creative. And thanks to all of you